Hey PTBO Canada, it is Angela O'Grady, and today we are here with our Liberal incumbent, Maryam Monsef. Maryam, thank you so much for coming out to see us today.
Thanks, Angela. Happy to be here in your fancy new building.
Brand new. Today we are speaking with Maryam, and we're going to go over a few questions. And just to start, could you let us know why you are running for MP of Peterborough-Cortland?
I'm running because this community has given me so much. And every single day for the past 6 years, on the horrible days, on the best of days, it's been a labor of love. And this work is about giving back to a community that's given me so much, that's given my family so much. And there's a lot at stake this election, and I'm not done fighting for my community.
That's great. Now, Maryam, before we started this interview, we reached out to members of the community because we really wanted to know what they wanted to know from their candidates. And something that we really want to focus on is, what are you hoping to achieve locally? What's your main concern here in Peterborough?
Okay, so I'll talk about public policy, and then I'll tell you something that's a personal mission of mine, okay?
Sure.
So broadly speaking, my priorities fall in 3 categories. First and foremost, health and safety. Second, making life more affordable for folks. And third is about the greatest existential threat of our time, climate change and climate action. So when it comes to health and safety, we have to get this pandemic over with. We're almost there, but we have to finish the fight. So those vaccine mandates, the investments in public health, being mindful of the mental health toll this thing has taken on all of us. Permanent mental health funding, supports for substance abuse and addictions and opioid use, and making sure everybody has access to primary care. This part of the priority, for everybody in our community and across the country, we've been reminded that health is wealth, and so that's a key priority for me. Beyond those, immediate things, we think about health, access to clean drinking water for Curve Lake First Nation. We were able to get them the funding to get their design for the water treatment facility. We were able to move forward, and this February, when they get that complete design of the water treatment facility they want, there's federal funding available to get shovels in the ground and get them that water treatment facility. So that's priority under the bucket of health and safety. And then we get to affordability. And for all the women out there, for all the working moms out there, and for the dads, the parents who have had to stay home to look after their kids so that they can do online learning because their daycare is closed, because school's closed, $10 a day childcare. This is something that women have been fighting for decades. And we're this close now here in Ontario. We've signed agreements with 8 provinces and territories. Ontario has yet to sign on, but $10 a day childcare in this region is going to save parents up to $12,000 a month, $12,000 per year, per child. That's going to be more money in their pockets, yes, but for all those employers who say they have labor shortages, that's 250,000 more women going back to work. And then, of course, the issue of housing. Not just affordable housing, but home ownership. And the Liberal Party is offering the only credible plan to move forward with building housing, addressing the issue of supply, and protecting people's rights. And then, of course, climate action. I was talking to a bunch of grade 6, 7, 8 students this morning via Zoom, and they asked the smartest questions, as they always do. But they're anxious about what's happening with the climate emergency. They want to see us ban plastics by 2030. They want to see us move to zero electric vehicles. They want us to continue putting a price on pollution. They ask questions about, how are you going to get building codes up to speed so that there is less emissions caused by unsustainable buildings. So the Liberal Party got, the grade of A from experts and economists with what we've put on the table for climate action. And I'm looking forward to implementing that. And then maybe I can tell you personally, politics is hard. Politics can be awful. But I entered politics, and particularly federal politics, because I believe it's the best way to make meaningful change in the lives of our neighbors, in our communities, and in our country. And for me, a personal goal has always been making sure that the next generation of leaders feel welcome, feel included, and feel like they belong in political spaces. And so making sure that that nasty tone of politics isn't the final impression youth are left with. Making sure that women, racialized folks, LGBT folks, folks who don't typically find themselves represented in decision-making spaces, that they feel like these institutions are for them. That's a personal mission that drives me every day too.
That's great, thank you.
So a lot of work to do.
A lot, yeah. Now, Maryam, as a member of this community, I know that you are so aware of all the small businesses that we have here in Peterborough. Why do you think that a small business owner should vote for you?
If you're a small business owner and you've had to deal with shutdowns and lockdown and various waves and various color-coded, directions on what to do and what not to do, you're probably as sick and tired of COVID as I am, except you've also had to live with what's going to happen to my parent who's in long-term care. You've had to worry about what's going to happen to my kid who's been at home and is struggling now with their own mental health issues. We've had your back, small business owners, with wage subsidy, with the various supports we put in place around rental assistance, community futures here in our community, the tourism sector through Peterborough Economic Development. We had your back. And the reason we had your back is we need you to survive so that you can continue to hire people, so that you can continue to innovate, so that you can continue to add to the character of our community. We lowered your tax rates and we're going to keep it that way. And we're adding to our labor force with 250,000 more women able to enter and participate in your businesses with our $10 a day childcare plan. And of course, we're offering skills development opportunities for people to come and work for you, to give to your organizations and to your mission. And we're going to cover up to 90% of an undergraduate degree. We're going to give you incentives to hire people, particularly young people, women, and otherwise. So we've had your back and we'll continue to have your back. We're the only party this election offering a credible plan to finish the fight against the pandemic, to give you the certainty you need, and to support a skilled workforce to come in and help you soar, because we need you to.
That's great. And we talk about the emerging from the pandemic and coming out of, months, if not years of struggling. What is your party's stance on what we've called the vaccine passport as we come out of this pandemic?
Vaccines save lives. They are proving themselves to be the most effective way to fight COVID. We are seeing in provinces across the country that unvaccinated folks are ending up in hospitals, in ICUs. So we believe if you're going to get on a plane or a train, that you should go there, rest assured, peace of mind that the folks around you are double vaxxed. I'm double vaxxed. We believe that, folks are going to come into our country to help revive our tourism sector, that they too need to be vaccinated. So vaccines save lives, the science has proven it, and we're going to continue to insist on a vaccine mandate because that's what the science and public health is telling us to do.
Thank you. When we spoke with the community members on our Instagram and on our Facebook, a lot of them are really concerned about the housing crisis that we have happening here in Peterborough, and they really want to know what our leaders think of that and how they're planning on addressing that.
Yeah, when the pandemic hit, people were told to go home, to work from home, to learn from home, and to shelter at home. But not everyone has a place to call home, and not every home is a safe home. So, throughout the pandemic, one of the things that I was responsible for as Minister for Women was making sure that about 1 million women and children who were in violent homes were able to find safety and security elsewhere. And, that work is going to continue with additional investments for housing for women and children fleeing abuse and violent homes. The Liberal Party of Canada is offering to address the issue of supply of housing by building, renovating, subsidizing another 1.4 million homes. So these are rental units as well that offer folks a place to call home. Here in Peterborough Kawartha, as your member of parliament, I've been able to support more than 1,700 units of housing, but we're not done. And I just want to say locally, the city of Peterborough has a plan that's on their books for more than 1,000 more units of housing to be built right here in Peterborough. And, I was briefed on this plan 3 years ago. I was excited about it then. I'm excited about it now. That plan is now on hold and it's stuck in process. So the second that process piece sorts itself out at City Hall, I'll be behind the community pushing to get those shovels in the ground. So that's on rental homes. But for young people, and I hope that your members have also asked about home ownership, especially if you're under 40, saving up for a down payment is a huge barrier. So a re-elected Liberal government is going to allow you to save up to $40,000 tax-free to go towards the purchase of a new home. And then we're going to reduce your monthly mortgage fees by about $6,000 a year. If anybody's gone through the process of buying a home, particularly in the last couple of years, blind bidding has been a nightmare for folks who want to see a home inspection and have a certain amount to spend. We're going to stop blind bidding. We're going to make that whole process more transparent. And for the next 2 years, we're going to ban foreign buying of homes in Canada, so there's more available for residents and citizens right here. I got more too, $4 billion incentive for municipalities to get shovels in the ground and to build housing. The folks that are excited about home retrofits and adding secondary units to their housing so that elders can age at home while having others around them would appreciate that that's also part of our plan. But, I believe housing is a human right. And it's really hard to pursue your dreams, to heal from harms that have been done if you don't have a safe and affordable roof over your head.
Thank you. Now, when you came in here today, and earlier in our interview you mentioned that you were speaking with an elementary school class, and they were very concerned about climate change. Mm-hmm. And I know from speaking with community members that a lot of young people in our area are concerned with that. What is the Liberal Party's stance on that, and what's your plan locally and federally to combat that?
You can't have a plan for economic growth and economic recovery if you don't have a credible plan to fight climate change. The city of Peterborough declared a climate emergency about a year ago, and I was so proud of our community for pushing for that because it's true. And step one is accepting that climate change is real, and our Conservative colleagues have yet to come to terms with that reality. We're going to keep pricing pollution. The more you pollute, we're going to make sure the more you pay. And we're going to invest in retrofits. So we're going to give you $5,000 grants to make your homes more energy efficient. And then we're going to give you a $40,000 loan, interest-free, so that you can make additional changes to your home that reduce your emissions, but also allow you to save money on your energy bills. We're going to ban plastics by 2030. We're going to move forward with ZEVs, those electric vehicles that Peterborough pushed for. We're making it happen, but also with electric buses. And then locally, something that folks have been really excited about is the Via Rail High Frequency Project. That's going to get cars off the roads. It's going to reduce our emissions. It's going to create jobs, and bringing that train through Peterborough is going to be a game changer for our community. We're going to continue to move forward with the planting of 2 billion trees. We've already protected more than 10% of our oceans, and we're going to keep going to conserve land. We're going to build more national parks. There's a pretty comprehensive climate plan. And it's the most comprehensive. Peterborough Kawartha asked for it, and now it's on the table. It's one of the things that Canadians will get to vote for this weekend through advanced polls and on September 20th. And I really, really hope that people vote for that plan. It's the best one out there, and even Mr. Mulcair, the former leader of the NDP, and the former leader of the Green Party in BC have endorsed our plan.
That's great. Now, Miriam, my very last question for you. Why should any community member in Peterborough and Kawarthas, why should they vote for you?
It's been the honor of my life to serve as your member of parliament these past 6 years. And as I said, every single day has been a labor of love. And the only reason I'm doing this is to give back to my community. There's a lot of pain here. There's a lot of poverty here, but there's also a lot of possibilities. And together, over the past 6 years, we helped create and maintain more than 3,000 jobs. Over 1,700 families have a place to call home because of federal investments. We were able to get 8,700 households in the rural part of our riding on their way to getting high-speed internet. And for me, as your representative, I'll keep pushing for $10 a day childcare. I'll keep pushing for more housing in our community. I'll keep pushing for better results, particularly for the rural residents who have so much going for them, but so little services. I'm asking for your vote because I'm not done fighting for you. And the decisions that the government makes in the coming days and weeks after the election are going to shape the trajectory of Canada for generations to come. And I believe that Peterborough should have a strong voice in Ottawa around key decision-making tables, and I am that person.
That's great. Thank you so much. And thank you for meeting with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Angela.
Mm-hmm.